Good morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 5th day of August 2022, Friday of the 18th week of the year, the 18th week in Ordinary Time. Coming to you still from Long Beach Island, New Jersey. I believe there is one lone boogie boarder in there in the water in this early morning. A bit overcast today. Don't know whether that is changeable. We'll see what happens today. But on this Friday of the 18th week of the year, we move from the prophet Jeremiah to the prophet Nahum, who is writing after the Assyrian invasion of the northern kingdom of Israel and the decimation of the people and the deportation of 10 of the tribes, leaving only 2 of the tribes in Israel now, the 10 lost tribes having been taken away to Assyria. Nahum, though, writes to Judah that it should rejoice because its own threats have disappeared. Now, again, this is sort of in between the Babylonian exile and the loss of the northern kingdom. So Judah will experience its own pain. But Nahum is writing for Israel to be able to rejoice that it can still celebrate its festivals because the threats that were surrounding it have vanished because the Assyrians have taken the northern kingdom and left Judah. What follows is kind of this interesting sort of statement about what's going to befall Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire. And again, bloody corpses and destruction and decimation and filth and all kinds of things like that. And people will say to Nineveh, woe to you because you thought you were so great and now you're nothing. And God will avenge the destruction of the northern kingdom. It does happen, and Assyria will fall to Babylon. But again, the thing about Judah is that it will not be as faithful as God hopes it will be, or God wants it to be, and it will fall again to the Babylonians who come in next on the scene. Again, always the up and down, a God who basically wants to give freedom and holiness and happiness, but also then a God who knows that we will not be as faithful as we can be or faithful as we should be, and yet still does not give up on us, still tries to help us be able to see what is good and right for us. In Matthew's Gospel, again, the type of person who is able to follow God, again, it's not a person who seeks after, again, the riches and the notoriety and the wealth that the world understands itself to be, and the world understands as valuable and important. Again, it's not taking up one's cross and following. It is not necessarily a passage for suffering. It is not a passage that, we're supposed to deny ourselves and make ourselves miserable, and basically just sit in the corner, just twiddling our thumbs or whatever it is, and that makes God happy. It is not about that. But it's about knowing, again, that life is not about what we can get out of it. Life is not about what's in it for me or what's in store for me. Life is about giving of ourselves, and totally giving of ourselves always to one another. It's where we find the most meaning in life, the most hope in life, the most wonder, the most glory in life, is when we can extend ourselves. And in some ways, that is how we are judged. Not in following rules and regulations to the letter of the law, not in being so pious and devout before God that we ignore everything else, but it is how we give of ourselves to one another. And again, that promotes life, and that continues to give life. And the life that comes from self-giving is a life that continues even long after we have passed from this life to the next. Which is perhaps what Jesus is talking about when he speaks of that there are those who will not see death until the Son of Man comes. Is because our giving continues, influencing one another and influencing those who come after us to continue giving in the same kind of way. All of that brings signs of the reign of God in our midst, and all of that brings hope to our broken and sorry world that is in terrible need of healing and the revelation of its own wonder and its own glory. And may the Lord give you his peace.